Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. You know AI is absolutely blowing up right now, and it's easy to feel like you're drinking from a fire hose.
Oh, tell me about it. The hype is off the charts. It's exciting, don't get me wrong, but cutting through all that noise, that's the real challenge.
For sure. But that's exactly why we're here, ready to dig into the sources you provided and find those AI nuggets that actually matter.
And you guys delivered some fascinating stuff. We're talking about everything from defining AI to its real-world impact on jobs, and even, believe it or not, how to actually learn this stuff.
Absolutely, let's jump right in. Our first source is a first course in machine learning, co-written by a professor who's been in the AI game for, like, forever.
And they kick things off with a real head-scratcher. They say if we could weigh data like it was physical stuff, planet Earth would be a black hole.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot to process. I mean, I know there's a ton of data out there, but a black hole.
It really hits home the sheer scale of information we're dealing with these days, which is exactly why AI is so crucial.
Because our old ways of handling data just can't keep up.
Exactly. But okay, enough about data overload. Let's talk about the core of it all. Machine learning. What's so cool is that instead of programming every single rule, we're feeding machines tons of data and letting them find the patterns.
So it's like we're saying, hey, computer, here's a mountain of information. You figure it out.
Exactly. Think of it like this. We give the computer a bunch of data, say about website visitors, what they clicked on, how long they stayed on a page, and we also tell it who ended up buying software.
So that's the learning part. It's figuring out, okay, these actions seem to mean someone's about to buy something.
Exactly. That's supervised learning, giving the machine labeled data so it can learn those relationships. And those inputs we feed it, those are the features.
Right, the variables, the things that might influence the outcome. Then there's that word generalization, meaning can the AI handle new situations, new website visitors it's never seen before?
Which is the whole point, right? We
Yeah.
don't want an AI that only recognizes one type of customer.
Totally. But hold on, there's also unsupervised learning, right? That's where things get really
Yep.
interesting. What's the difference there?
So with unsupervised learning, it's like we're giving the AI a giant puzzle but no picture on the box.
Okay, so no labels, no predefined answers.
Yeah, that's wild. What's the
Wow.
point of that? It's about uncovering hidden connections, patterns we might not even know to look for. Like, imagine letting AI loose on financial transactions. It might pick up on subtle patterns, indicating fraud that would take humans forever to find.
So it's like AI as a detective, sniffing out clues we'd miss. Which makes me think, if AI is getting this good at analyzing data, what does that mean for us, like for our jobs?
Great question, and it leads perfectly into our next source, which focuses on the AI job market. And let me tell you, the numbers are kind of mind-blowing.
Oh, is this the report with the prediction about AI jobs skyrocketing by like 16% globally?
16% just this year alone, and that's according to the International Data Corporation. They're pretty much the gold standard when it comes to this kind of data.
So, not some random blog post, this is serious stuff. But if AI is taking over all these tasks, does that mean robots are stealing our jobs?
It's not that simple. Yes, some traditional jobs might be automated, but what's really happening is AI is creating a whole bunch of new jobs. We're talking about roles like AI trainers, data scientists, ethicists.
Okay, so it's more like a shift in the job landscape, not just a complete takeover.
Exactly. And for you guys listening, this means being proactive, understanding these emerging skills, and how they might apply to your field.
It's like future-proofing your career, basically.
100%. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we've been throwing around all these AI buzzwords, but let's take a step back for a sec.
You mean like, what is AI really? How does it actually work?
Exactly, because understanding that is key to seeing both the potential and the limitations. And that's where our next source comes in. It does a really cool job of breaking down how AI differs from the regular computers we use every day.
You know, it's funny, we've been talking about AI and machine learning like they're these concrete things, but can we even pin down what AI actually is?
You've hit on a really important point. Artificial intelligence can be surprisingly slippery, like trying to nail jelly to a wall, you know?
Yeah.
It seems to mean different things to different people. Maybe a good place to start is by thinking about, well, ourselves. What do you think makes us intelligent?
Ooh, that's deep. Learning from our mistakes, I hope, at least sometimes. But really, I guess it's about things like problem solving, adapting to new situations, understanding complex ideas, even things like language and recognizing patterns. Those feel pretty uniquely human, right?
Exactly. And at its core, AI is about building machines that can tackle those same kinds of tasks. And in some cases, they're even starting to outperform us in specific areas. But remember that cat-shaped cake problem we were talking about earlier? That just goes to show that even the most advanced systems are still a long way off from what we'd call general human-level intelligence.
Right, so it's not like there's this one definition of AI. It's more like a whole spectrum of what these systems can do and how well they do it.
Precisely. We've got AI that's incredibly specialized, like those chess-playing programs that can beat grandmasters, or facial recognition software that can pick someone out of a crowd in seconds. And then there's the more general-purpose stuff like Siri or Alexa, those digital assistants that can answer our questions, tell us the weather, even control the lights in our homes. But even those are limited by their programming and the data we feed them.
Right, they haven't quite mastered the art of interpreting a cat riding a Roomba just yet. Which brings us back to that course brochure we were looking at. It seems like even if we're not all going to be AI programmers, understanding this stuff is becoming more and more important.
Absolutely. And what's really cool is this course isn't just for tech whizzes. It's designed for working professionals from all sorts of backgrounds, emphasizing that anyone can learn these skills with the right guidance. That says a lot about where things are headed.
Yeah, like AI literacy is becoming as essential as knowing how to use a computer in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, so spill the beans. What are they teaching in this AI boot camp?
Well, they dive into some really interesting stuff like natural language processing, or NLP for short. It's the tech behind those chatbots and virtual assistants we were just talking about.
Wow, so it's like we went from wondering if machines could ever understand human language to, okay, how can I learn to speak their language? That's kind of trippy when you think about it.
It is. They also cover things like recommender systems, those algorithms that are always suggesting things you might like, products to buy, movies to watch, that sort of thing. Understanding how those work, even just from a user's perspective, can be super valuable.
It's like peeking behind the curtain of the internet, right?
Yeah.
No more mystery recommendations. You're in the know. But speaking of insights, this whole deep dive has been pretty eye-opening so far. We've gone from black holes to chatbots, from job market predictions to learning to speak AI.
We really have, and what's remarkable is how it all stemmed from these sources you all chose. And while each one had its own focus, its own piece of the puzzle, they all point to something much bigger.
It's like AI isn't some far-off thing anymore. It's right here, right now, woven into everything, our jobs, how we shop, you name it.
It's crazy. And the coolest part of this deep dive is that we haven't just scratched the surface. We've dug deep thanks to the awesome sources you guys picked.
For sure. And to me, the fact that we're seeing courses like the one in this brochure, designed for everyone, not just the tech geniuses, shows just how crucial it's becoming to actually get AI.
It's true. Just using AI tools isn't enough anymore. We need to understand how they tick. And that's where things get really interesting.
Because then the big questions pop up, right?
Right.
Like, will AI outsmart us completely one day? Will we be working with it or for it?
Those are the million-dollar questions, the ones we've been wrestling with for ages.
And I guess there's no easy answer, is there? It's a little exciting and a little scary all at once.
Exactly. But hey, knowledge is power, right? What we've learned from these sources, that's what equips us to not just survive in an AI world, but actually help shape it.
I love that. So what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
Don't just sit on the sidelines, dive in, ask questions, be curious, and never stop learning about this stuff.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
This deep dive might be over, but your AI journey is just beginning. Thanks for exploring with us.